Hey, what's up everybody? Landon with LMR.com. We're gonna be talking about the replacement battery cable from LMR products designed for the 1994 to 2004 Mustang. So kind of a quick backstory on this one. Quite a few of the cars around here at our shop needed battery cables. There's a few existing options out there. There's some generic battery cables that don't really work too well. And then on pretty much most cars you see, your car may have this as well, generic terminal ends for the battery where the wires cut and then you just make an effort to get the thing crimped back on, and it just doesn't look right in the engine bay, and the cars deserve better. So that's why we wanted to pursue our very own complete replacement battery cable. If we take a look at the battery cable, this is going to be an OE appearing cable. It's going to feature OE style terminal ends, all your ground connections, as well as the connection here for the engine bay fuse box and the main starter connection. The battery cable is pre-loomed in certain sections, and then color coordinated heat shrink is applied to each crimp. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at what you're going to get in the kit. You're going to get the main battery cable, two 10-foot sections of wire loom to rebuild the sub harness, one roll of electrical tape, an assortment of harness clips, and then a healthy amount of zip ties. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about some fitment notes for this particular battery cable. First fitment note is going to be the optimized length. Being that it fits all 1994 to 2004 Mustangs, you may have to make small compromises in order for it to work. The two small compromises for this particular car, which is a 1995 GT, was the main starter connection. I had to add a small service loop underneath there just to keep it away from the headers. And then the original ground wire was on the rearward stud for the engine mount. I moved the ground wire to the front stud on the engine mount. Next will be the sub harnesses. The sub harnesses are different throughout 94 to 04. Watching this video and this procedure, if you have a 94 to 95 GT, Cobra, you could probably copy this to the exact T. 96 to 04 cars, your sub harness is going to be a tad different, but the same generalized procedure of refurbish it, reroute it, reconnect it is going to be the exact same. So speaking of those differences, on a 96 to 04 car, we're looking at a 2000 GT. The first thing is going to be the bracket orientation. We'll have one up here by the power steering pump, one here to the passenger side of the engine, down by the oil pan, and then the third bracket's going to be tucked in here underneath the passenger side engine mount. Second thing would be the oil pressure sensor wire. This runs obviously from the oil pressure sensor to from the oil filter adapter up to the connection just in front of the engine bay fuse box. And then the last thing is going to be the ground location. Instead of it being on the passenger side, like it is on a 94, 95 car, it's situated over here on the driver's side. Again, this is a 2000 GT. Differences could still be there for 96, 98 GTs, as well as the 4-valve cars in this year range. So that's pretty much a good rundown of the LMR products battery cable. Again, really happy to have this one. We're gonna step into the process. Y'all enjoy. If you have any questions, be sure to drop us a comment and we'll get you taken care of. Okay, so as you can see here on the Opel Frost car, we've got kind of some quick release type of battery terminals. They serve their purpose, you know, if you're swapping batteries and stuff, but I mean, how many times are we swapping batteries? You're really not. We want to get factory terminal in to get a brand new cable on this car, so that's why we're using this particular car. Getting the cable out is pretty easy. You're just going to start at your negative, start at your positive up here at the battery, and then you'll trace it down underneath the car in front of the engine and over to the starter. So we're going to start up here at the battery first. I will be removing the battery as well, just to give us a little bit of additional working room and clarity for the camera. Always remove the negative first, followed by the positive. And then typically these battery hold downs are 8mm. Depending on the age of, oh, there went the bolt. But depending on the age of this, there could be some crusty, rusty stuff going on, but all this looks like it's new or newer, and it came out pretty easy. Let's go ahead and pull this battery out. So next up here at the negative, we'll have the ground here on the top of the core support. If it helps, take pictures of all this stuff before you take it apart. Y'all heard me talk about that on several videos. Bag up your stuff, label it. That way you know where it goes. Push pin removal tool. We'll take that harness clip off. I'm using plastic so I don't scar up the engine bay. If you have metal, just use a microfiber towel to protect the engine bay. Okay, so it's gonna start getting congested down in here, but we've got two ground wires on this setup. One, and then there's a second one down here with two tabs on it. So we'll kind of have to work those tabs free without breaking them. These are really fragile. Got it. Okay, and then looks like grounds it free. So up here at the fuse box in the engine bay, we're going to slide up on this cover. I'm going to get that out of the way just so it's out of the way. And these usually slide off. You just got to kind of do it in the right manner. There we go. You just got to kind of spread it apart gently to get it off of the box. Remove that nut from the power lug, 13 millimeter. Just gonna put this back into place. That way we don't lose it. And looks like we are nice and free up here from the top. So now we'll go underneath the car. Okay, so here's our cable right here. We've got a bracket attached right up here. You're gonna have some wiring harnesses taped to your battery harness as well. So you may have to cut, you're gonna have to cut this off to get it out. This is gonna also give you an opportunity to clean some of this area up. And depending on age, this is gonna be real nasty up in here. We're gonna try that 13 millimeter. You have to come up like this. Okay, nut is off. Followed by the bracket. Oh, look here, this connection is attached to that bracket with a harness clip. So we'll take our pry tool and get it off of there. Yeah, we got it. Oh, this harness is integrated into this with this battery. So I'm gonna disconnect this. It's gonna come with it. Okay, next bracket right up here on the timing pointer. Okay, that bracket's off. Integrated into the battery harness as well is the connection for the driver's side oxygen sensor, as well as the low oil level sensor. And this thing is all beat up. Pry tool, and then we can feed that to the front of the car. Okay, so harness clip right here, attached to this bracket to the front side of the passenger side engine mount. It is broke, so we don't have to pry ours off, you'll just pry that out. After that, straight shot to the starter. This harness also has the passenger side O2 sensor, so we'll go ahead and disconnect it before we address the starter. Nope, there's a bracket back here on the back side of the engine mount as well, so I will need to pull this starter out. First starter bolt. Got it. You just want to have a hand on the starter. That way it doesn't come crashing down. God, automatic cooler lines. Gotta snake them by that. Well, we gotta get this nut off the motor mount to give us the rest of our slack. Get the bracket off of the stud. Okay. There we go. So here's your starter configuration. Trigger wire. Just squeeze that to get it off. And then it looks like we got a 13 mil for the power lug. Good opportunity to upgrade starters if you need to. So now we can get this cable out of the car. Gonna be some tight spaces with these pre-installed brackets and stuff. So you're just gonna have to do your best. You're probably gonna scratch something up. God, it's one of those things. So we're just gonna pull this down. So now that we have the cable out, we can begin dissecting. If you want to take measurements and pictures of where this stuff goes, go ahead. I'm not going to do any of that. I've got a pretty good understanding of where this stuff's going to go. So I'm just going to get it out of my way. I'm not going to hardly reuse any of this stuff. So if it gets messed up, it gets messed up. These brackets do bend easy. What we don't want to do is Mess up the dipped rubber ends. So we need this harness, starter trigger, oxygen sensor, right? Yeah. This is the one we're gonna clean up. So same deal. Okay, so I've got the main battery cable back up here on the workbench. I did forget one thing. Gotta transfer the starter trigger wire. And it was the wire plugged into the starter solenoid. So just find it, see where it's attached in your harness, and get it removed and cleaned up as well. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and put a new starter on this car. Here's the old starter. The new starters have a lug for the trigger wire versus a OE starter has spade terminal. So the new SVE starter does include a new trigger wire, which you can utilize. If you do, you'll have to do one of two things. The end that goes here on the solenoid gets attached. The other end would have to be cut, and you would splice your factory connector into. Option two, if your OE wire is still good and you want to reuse this wire, you can cut the plastic clip off with the spade terminal inside of it and supply your own ring terminal to secure it to the new starter. If you're not using a new starter and you have an OE style starter with the spade terminal and your OE wire is good, simply reuse it. Like anything, a few different scenarios, divide and conquer. Factory length. Oh. Ah, fresh wire. Stripped so easy. OEM cable, aftermarket cable. We'll need to put this in a vise and 90 it. That way it installs in the correct direction on our starter, because it's gonna go on the power lug. And we actually have a vise right here, so check this out. And we just need to get it started. We can bend it over the rest of the way with a hammer. Oh, you bent the wrong section, so don't do that. So, all right, so we got that bent at a 90. Just be careful not to damage any of your wires or anything like that. All right, everybody, we're ready for reinstallation. We got the O2 and oil pressure sensor harness re-loomed. We also went ahead and loomed the starter trigger wire. I'm going to feed the new battery cable down towards the engine. I'm gonna get everything connected up here. That way we can determine how much slack we need and where to put the metal loop brackets. Once that is situated, we can go back and zip tie the two other harnesses to the main battery cable. I don't have any battery caps, so we're just gonna tape it up with electrical tape. And remember, none of this really sat even from the factory. Reference your old cable for any bends or anything like that. So this has a little downward bend, so that'll go like so. Factory ground bolt. Definitely could have referenced our old cable here, but I want to be as accurate as possible, so I'm taking the time to determine where everything needs to go. Harness clips installed, and we're rolling with our negative at a slight angle. That's going to give us the best fitment, and then the positive is going to be parallel with your fender apron. We're not going to leave this hooked up. We're going to remove probably the negative cable just to be on the safe side, because the negative is going to be retained by these. So now we can continue working the cable to the starter. Okay, so what we've done, I went and placed all my brackets, or at least these two that could hang from these studs, made sure I knew where they went. So now what we're going to do, we're going to make sure these loops are wide enough to accept the cable. Let's try that. Okay, that's going to squeeze in there nice. I'm gonna go ahead and put these nuts back on, that way our brackets will be held, and then we can feed the rest of this cable in the direction it needs to go, because we have that real hard to get bracket on the back side of the passenger side engine mount. We can clip this into that transmission cooler line bracket. We're gonna move our ground wire to the front of the engine mount, which actually works out good because it was hard to get to last time. Now that it's attached, we can kind of bend it. You wanna bend it at the terminal, not down here. This is gonna give us our correct slack. A couple rounds of tape. We're doing this so we don't scar up the rubber on our brackets. Up next, we are gonna do the O2 sensor and oil pressure sensor harness. So we're gonna get it resituated, feed it around where it goes. So that just goes click, and then we can roll this. This is what we're going with right now. It's kind of dorky, but We need to fix it. Starter trigger. The factory style connector is going to follow the same path as the new battery cable up into the engine bay. We're going to connect it up top and then we'll work our way back down. Take the positive off, give us a little bit of room. Here's our connector for the starter trigger. Got it. Okay, and then we can just feed this alongside the new battery cable leading underneath the car. We'll get all that zip tied up good when we're done. Since we're still installing, I'm gonna put that back. Yeah, if you can prevent the starter from hanging by the wires, probably for the best, but you're gonna find that in this scenario, that's difficult to get around. Okay, so we just wanna make sure these are clocked in a manner where they're kind of away from each other because we're gonna snake this back up in here. So let's go ahead and see what we got by weaseling this, because the wires are a little long. So if we have to kind of make like a swoop radius, we can. It actually forms its own loop, but you're gonna have to be mindful of headers. So I got the stud in place by hand. We're gonna go through the K-member opening and thread it the rest of the way in. We got a long extension with a wobble adapter and our 1/2 inch socket. If you're wanting access to address power wire from the battery cable and then starter trigger, bring your hand through this opening right here in the K-member and you'll be able to situate these wires the way you want and tighten the nuts on the lugs. You got a 10 mil and a 12 mil. Just make sure that power wire, any wires in general, is free and clear of your shorty or long tube header. Nut for the lug on the engine bay fuse box is good to go. Cover, both covers are on. Check our dedicated ground wire here, make sure it's tight. Good to go. We didn't touch this one, but for good measure. Now we'll set our battery back in place. I'm not gonna put the hold down on it just yet. We'll remove our tape. We'll get the positive on first. Take the negative cover off. So now let's start her up. All right, everybody, we made it to the end. We got the battery cable installed here into Opal Frost. Definitely some tight working areas. You're gonna kind of get some blood hand. I got a few bloody knuckles doing this, but it's all in the fun. Definitely love restoring the cars. I've made a world of difference for this car, especially with kind of the silly little quick crimp terminals that we had on there before. I know some of you are probably thinking, oh, that's gonna help you remove the battery pretty quick, but I mean, how many times do you remove the battery? Factory terminal ends are what you want. So appreciate you watching. Hopefully this one helped you out. If you find value in what we're doing, please consider liking the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and then until we see the next one, for all things SN95 and New Edge Mustang, keep it right here with the Real Enthusiast, LMR.com.